Lucky Broken Girl. Chapter 11. They come to see the little piggy in the barn. Instead of going out for a picnic in the park or a roller coaster ride in Coney Island, on the weekends the whole family comes to visit me now. So do all of Mommy and Poppy's old friends from Cuba. Mommy leads them into the bedroom, and Izzy buzzes around saying, "Can I show them? Let me show them." They come to see the little piggy in the barn. Oink, oink, I want to say as they enter. They smile for half a second. Then their faces get droopy when they have a look at me. "How are you, Ruthie?" I ask, concern in their eyes. I try to smile and act like I don't mind being stuck in bed. "I feel great," I tell them. "I'm getting to read lots of books, and I'm a whiz at crossword puzzles now." "Very nice, Ruthie." No one knows what else to say. The men put their arms around the women's shoulders and edge them toward the door. They don't look back. They're relieved when they leave the icky barn where the little piggy girl lives. I can tell Baba is the one who suffers the most when she sees me. She's still taking a pill every night to be able to sleep. If not, she wakes with terrible nightmares and screams, "Help! Help!" and wakes up Ziad. She worries that my broken leg is all her fault because I was asleep on her lap when the accident happened. She's convinced if she'd only held on to me tighter, I might not have gotten hurt. "Shaina Madela, Shaina Madela," Baba says over and over, brushing away tears as she enters the room. I like hearing her call me beautiful girl, but I don't like to see her cry. I tell Baba it's not her fault. Whenever she comes, I ask her to sing to me so we can forget the bad things that have tried to rob us of our happiness. My favorite song is a Cuban lullaby, and I love the way Baba sings it with a whisper of a Yiddish accent. "Esta niña linda que nació de día, quiere que la lleven a la dulcería." This pretty girl who was born by day wants to get taken to the candy store. "Baba, please tell me the story of how you got from Poland to Cuba." "But you've heard that story many times," she says. "I know, but I want to hear it again." Baba pushes the chair closest to my bed. She takes my hand and begins to tell my story. I, Shaina Madia. What a time it was. If you can imagine, I was only 18. It was 1925 when I said goodbye to my family and took a train from Warsaw to Rotterdam. Then I boarded a big ship. "What was it like, Baba, to travel all by yourself? Were you very scared?" I was scared, of course. I had never traveled before on either a train or a ship. The train was crowded with lots of sweaty people, but I thought for sure it would be romantic to be on a ship at sea. But no, that ship carried cows and sheep and goats and a few people. It was like Noah's Ark. Did the trip seem very long to you? Days and days at sea. I thought we'd never arrive. I missed my family and I didn't know if I'd ever see them again. I was going to a strange land where I didn't know anyone. There was an ocean on all sides, endless, and the smell of salt and brine was so strong. All the food tasted like a sour pickle. Then one day, a seagull flapped its wings near us. We were close to land, and soon we reached the shores of the beautiful island of Cuba. I began a new life. I tasted fruits I never knew existed, like mango and papaya. The sweetness of pineapples seemed a gift from heaven. And the people were kind. Not one said a bad word to me because I was Jewish. I met your Ziad, and together we worked and brought my mommy and poppy and my brothers and sisters from Poland to Cuba. We were so happy. Baba is quiet for some time. Then she rubs her eyes, holding back the tears, not able to let go of all the sadness she carries with her. "If we hadn't gone to Cuba, we would not be here talking today," Baba tells me. Cuba saved us from Hitler and the war. When you were born, our first grandchild, you were a gift of hope. We thought our home would always be in Cuba, and then we had to leave Cuba and come here to New York. I had been a refugee not once but twice, but somehow we found the strength to start from nothing a second time. And now we're happy, aren't we, Baba? Like Poppy says, we're in a free country. Oh, Shaina Madia, I tell you we are, but I won't be at peace until you are out of this cast and able to walk. I reached for the handkerchief I took away from Mommy, the one from Cuba, and passed it to Baba. Please, Baba, don't cry. I am going to get well. We just have to be patient like you were on that ship. Yes, that's right, Baba replies and gives me a smile. Everything comes to those who wait. Baba digs into her purse and pulls out a butterscotch candy. Hide it under your pillow, she whispers. She knows if Mommy sees the candy, she'll take it from me. Gracias, Baba. Will you tell me the story again another day? Of course, Shaina Madia. As many times as you want. My life has become a story. One day, your life will be a story too. That's going to take forever. But you'll get there, Shaina Madia. I promise. All we can do is have faith that life leads us to where it does for a reason, so we can learn things we don't know about ourselves. One day you will look back on your suffering and you will find a meaning for it, and that will be your story. Just when I had given up wondering if Danielle will ever come to visit, I hear her at the door asking Mommy, Madame, may I say hello to Ruthie? Is she well enough to receive guests? Hi, Ruthie, Danielle says as she walks into the room. I'm sorry you can't play hopscotch. Danielle wears a green dress with a white collar and white ankle socks and white pumps with satin bows. Her long black hair is tied into a thick braid that reaches down her back, a green bow at the end. She could not look more perfect. I'll be better soon, I reply, trying to sound cheerful. Sit down, Danielle. We can play cards if you want, or Monopoly. There's a chair by my bed where all the visitors sit, but Danielle doesn't sit. She stands there staring at me, shuffling her feet. Do you want to sign my cast? I ask. I pull away the sheet from my left side so she can have a look at how the cast stretches from my toes to my waist. She takes a quick glance and turns pale. Then she says, Thank you, Ruthie. Not now. I just came to say hello. Maman said I should come and see you, that it was the polite thing to do. I can tell she's afraid to be alone with me. Maybe she thinks I'm contagious, and she'll end up in a body cast too. She peeks at her watch. Sorry, I have to go. She runs out of the room like everyone else without looking back. After she's gone, I lie there in my plaster cast, staring at the empty spot where she had been standing. Everyone has stopped seeing the person that I am, the girl named Ruthie. Sometimes I feel like I am little more than my plaster cast. I have to lie here and be pitied. Where do I hide? Where do I run? I feel naked in the whole world. The only children who come over every day without fail are my cousins, Dennis and Lily. They skid into the bedroom with Izzy, and the four of us play a round of Monopoly or Scrabble. But they're younger and babyish and quickly tire of being cooped up inside. After a few minutes, they run off and play in the street. One afternoon, after coming home from school, Dennis and Izzy toss a ball around in the room. It flies near the bed, and I catch it and throw it back. I am so happy to be a regular kid again. Good save, Woofy, Izzy shouts. He tosses the ball to Dennis, so he can toss it over to me. We're having fun, but Lily rushes to tattletale on us. Mommy storms in, yelling, Niños, don't play here! What if you hit Ruti's leg? It's okay, Mommy. I say that cast is hard. The ball won't hurt me. Don't make them leave, please. But Mommy doesn't care what I say. She shoos the kids out of the room. Flora, niños, go outside. They don't look back either. And off they go, out to where the sun is shining. Chapter 12. A flashlight and Nancy Drew to the rescue. What does sunshine feel like? I can't remember. Since the window is behind me, I see only shadows and streaks of light. In the morning, the room is pale yellow. In the evening, it turns gray. And at night, a black curtain falls over the world. I ask Poppy for a flashlight to make up for the sunlight I've lost. He gets me one bright enough to shine into the darkness tunnel. I keep the flashlight next to my pillow so I can be brave. The scariest time is the deepest deep of night. Every lamp is turned off in the house and everyone is asleep except me. That's when my broken leg hurts most. I want someone to hold my hand. I want someone to say kind words to me. But I keep quiet, because I don't think I deserve any kindness. The doctor in the emergency room told me a broken leg was no big deal. That's why I cry as quietly as I can in the deepest deep of night. There's a box of Kleenex next to my bed, and I pull out tissue after tissue to mop up my tears. Izzy sleeps and doesn't notice. Last night, when I felt scared, I came up with a great idea. I lifted the sheet over my head and turned on the flashlight and lifted it with the cast. I feel safe, like I was camping in a tent in the woods and surrounded by whispering trees and peaceful bears, like the stories Uncle Bill tells about taking Boy Scouts to Bear Mountain. Now I'm camping all by myself under the sheet of my bed. I hug myself and say, "You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine." Before falling asleep, I turn off the flashlight so I won't run down the battery, but I keep the sheet over my head. In the morning, when Mommy comes in with the bedpan, she sees me all covered up. "Ruthie, wake up!" I'm awake, I tell her. I keep the sheet over my face. I'm not ready to come out of my tent. "How can you breathe? Take that sheet off right now, or do you want me to take it off?" Mommy says, already annoyed with me, and the day hasn't even started. I pull the sheet away and smile at her. "Look at me, I'm fine." She sees the tissue scattered around. "Were you sneezing during the night?" "Yeah, Mommy." "Must be all the flowers blooming," she says, looking out the window. "Winters are so long here in this country. I thought I would never be able to wear sandals again. It is such a relief that summer is finally here." Then she looks at me sadly. "You'll wear sandals again one day too, mi niña. We just have to be patient." "That's right, Mommy. Everything's going to be all right." What courage it takes for me to smile at Mommy, to act as if I'm not worried at all. On the last day of class before summer vacation, Joy brings me a pile of books. "Here you go, Ruthie," she says to me. "You can read these Nancy Drew mysteries over the summer and take a rest from math. You're all caught up, so no need to tax your brain." I finish reading all 10 Nancy Drew books by the beginning of July, and then I have nothing new to read and no one to play with. Danielle doesn't come back, but who cares? She was mean, and Ramu, who's so nice, can't visit me. One of the worst parts about being bored is that there is so much time to think about the terrible things that can happen and how you can't stop terrible things from happening if they're going to happen. Like the night of the accident. Those boys didn't know they were going to die when they went to the discotheque, and I didn't know I'd wind up in a body cast. I have so many fears. What if I don't heal? What if my leg stays broken forever? Even the ocean isn't big enough to hold all my fears. I am scared of being scared. Nancy Drew is never scared. That's what I like about her. So I read the books over and over. I read them aloud like an actress on stage. No one is around to listen. I read aloud from The Clue of the Broken Locket, where Nancy Drew says, "I'm all set to go. Tell me more about Henry Winch and why he's so frightened." I change the line so Nancy Drew says, "I'm all set to go. Tell me more about Ruthie Mizrazi and why she's so frightened." And there she comes, strawberry-haired Nancy Drew, the girl sleuth, so American and so sure of herself, wearing a round-collared blouse and a pencil skirt, wielding her magnifying glass. "Hello, Nancy Drew," I say. "I'm Ruthie Marazi. Won't you please solve the mystery of why the car accident happened, why I broke my leg, and why I ended up in bed?" Nancy Drew smiles down at me, raising an eyebrow. "It certainly sounds intriguing, and I've been longing for another case. And when I pretend Nancy is with me, it's not so bad. I have discovered, if I only have me, myself, and I for company, I might as well be amusing." Then through the open windows, I hear the ice cream truck and kids squealing as they run and play in the streets. I wish I could blow on a dandelion puffball and see its dust scatter. I wish I could stand in the sun and run to the ice cream truck and buy a chocolate cone and eat it really fast before it melts all over my hands. I wish, I wish, I wish.